Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So, welcome to another learning session with EduLite, and obviously, this will be an economic session. So, we're running multiple sessions parallelly, both for accounting and economics. So, I also have Nitish with me, and Nitish will also be participating with us in the economic session, probably towards the end when we come to Q&A, because that's his specialty. So, let's get started with our class today. And so, in the session today, what we're going to talk about is we'll talk about business environment. Now, when we talk of business environment, it sounds a complicated element. It is complicated indeed, but we try and simplify it. And in today's session, we'll talk about three specific elements. We'll talk about what is the meaning of business element, what are the characteristics, and what are the components. So we'll keep it simple, we'll keep it short because we can spend hours understanding and discussing this particular topic. But let's get started. So what is a business environment? Now, if you look at a business environment, let's first read the definition here. Business environment represents all external forces, factors, or conditions that exert some degree of impact on the business decisions, strategies, and actions taken by the firm. Now, before we get to the complicated diagram that we have or this complicated definition, let's pick up a quick example to understand. Now, in India currently, if you look at the policy for the auto companies, a simple and clear cut policy is there by 2030, all vehicles, and I mean all vehicles means all vehicles, be it two-wheelers, three-wheelers, or four-wheelers, or even trucks, all have to go to the electric mode. So they will all become electric by the end of 2030. Now, if this is a simple element, now this sounds simple, but doing this will be very complicated for the auto companies. But this element is coming in from one variable of the environment of the business environment, which is government. So government becomes one element or one variable of the environment. Now they come up with the policy that by 2030, all cars, all vehicles have to go electric. Now, this one element that has come out from the government will not only impact the automakers, but it will impact all the other players operating in the auto sector. Now, when I say this, obviously the car companies will have to manufacture car, the battery companies will have to change to an electronic battery, consumers will have to upgrade their cars to electric cars, and there also has to be an ecosystem that has to be built in, infrastructure has to be built in to comply with this one element, one directive coming from the government. Now, the reason I picked up this example is when you look at business, it operates in a very complex environment. And why is it called complex? Because there are different players, different operators operating in it. In our example, we have government, we have automobile sector, we have consumers or customers who will buy cars, we have companies who will make electronic batteries, we have companies who will create the infrastructure for charging, etc. So that is what is meant by the business environment, all external forces or factors, or you may call it as variables, which exert some degree of impact on the business. So it could be government exerting an impact on the company to go electric by 2030. It could be customer taste and preferences changing, because of which the company might have to change their product portfolio as well. And we obviously will, in the subsequent slide, we'll cover some more examples talking about some scenarios. Now, if you come to the diagram here, a very simple diagram, there is a business firm in the center, which is our company. For example, let's say I'm an entrepreneur, I have a company in the auto sector. So this business firm represents my company. Now my company will take decisions not because I want to take decisions. My company will take decisions because some of these variables such as suppliers, customers, competitors, creditors, government, debtors, all of these elements, all of these factors will exert some kind of a force on me to make those futuristic decisions. It could be around products, it could be around pricing, it could be around marketing, it could be around packaging, it could be around sustainability. All of these elements can be elements that can be forced upon me by the external environment, and I will have to comply with it. Now, keep a very simple rule in mind. For a company to exist, they need to be in resonation. They need to resonate with what the external environment wants, what the external environment is doing, and how the external environment is evolving. So that's what is meant by business environment. Have we all understood what is the concept of business environment here? Okay, perfect. Now let's look at what are some of the characteristics of a business environment. Now, the first characteristic that we've already spoken about is the business environment is complex. Now, what makes the business environment complex? The multiplicity of variables, of factors, of players in the external environment make the business environment complex. Now, when we say business environment is complex, it also means that the business environment is dynamic in nature, because something or the other will keep changing. Now, we cannot say that, okay, because the government has announced, that is why all automobile companies are going electric. Now, even before the government announced this policy, this regulation, there were certain companies who were also already transitioning to becoming independent in terms of rolling out electric vehicles, because they saw a demand coming from those cars. Now, where was the demand coming in? It could be competitors launching those products. It could be those kind of products already operating in some other countries which they wanted to replicate in India. It could also be coming in from some of the customers. Now, some customers might be very environment friendly. They may want to be sustainable when it comes to their mode of transportation, and that is why they felt that, okay, we want an electric vehicle. Now, because there is demand, the companies want to cater to the demand. They started launching electric vehicles much before the government came with this policy that everything needs to go electric. So this external environment, because there are so many variables, will keep changing. And that is why we say that one of the key characteristics of business environment is that it is dynamic in nature. It will continuously change. It will continuously evolve. It will continuously adapt, and all companies have to kind of keep up pace with whatever is happening in the external environment. Right. Now, Jack Welch once said that if the speed of external change is more than the speed of internal change, doomsday is near. Which means that companies need to understand how the environment is changing. Companies need to understand what variables are changing, why are they changing, how will they impact the business. And if they feel that, okay, yes, we need to cope up with these changing variables, they need to take actions, they need to make strategies. And that is why coping up with the business environment is one of the most difficult elements for every company. Now, once they understand the variables, once they understand the forces, once they understand how all of this will impact their business, and they take some strategies, then implementation becomes relatively easier. So if I were a company, I will have to spend more time understanding these variables, understanding the changes, how it will impact my business. And then obviously there will be certain elements that which I will have to keep in mind, basis which I will start coping up with the external environment. So it's complex, it's dynamic. All of this also makes the business environment multifaceted. So multiple variables, multiple things changing, multiple forces operating, multiple decisions need to be taken. So all of those elements also make the business environment multifaceted. And obviously, if you don't cope up with the external environment, there can be far reaching consequences as well. So if you keep up with the environment, you will continue to flourish, you will continue to grow as a business. If you don't, then you will perish. Now, many a times I give this example to a lot of students who I teach. 2012 for me is a very significant year. Not because something very significant happened, but yes, because of this one business scenario that changed. So 2012, one company by the name of Kodak went out of business. And this was a company which had 80 to 85% market share in the photography industry, and they went out of business because another company by the name of Instagram that we all use came into business. Now, why do I take this specific example here? The reason I take this specific example is that Kodak was not able to understand the dynamic and complex external environment variables that were changing. Now, because they couldn't understand those variables, they were not able to cope up with it. They were not able to prepare strategies to cope up with it. And in the process, they perished. There are a lot of examples of similar companies. Some companies who would have perished, some companies would have thrived. Now, I'm not saying that companies don't so companies don't completely understand every element as they progress, but once they start understanding and they adapt to it, they continue to stay in business. Honda is another perfect example. They were once market leaders in the auto sector. They were new companies which came in. They did far more better business than Honda. And Honda had to suddenly undergo a transformational change in some of the ways they were operating. Now, if you look at Honda 10 years back or even 15 years back, they used to come out with a car. The design of that car would change in, let's say, about 3 to 4 years. Now, if you fast forward that similar element to the current scenario, their car designs change every 3 to 6 months. Why? Because technology is changing. Their competitors are coming up with new products. Customers want change. Now, all of these are elements which are happening in the auto sector. Now, if Honda does not understand these variables, does not take decisions to cope up with it, they will also perish. Another beautiful example of this element is Nokia. Once a market leader, today struggling to make sales. Sony Ericsson, once a market leader in the mobile space, today does not even exist in the mobile space. There are no new phones coming in. Another example, MI, OnePlus. A lot of people would not have heard about these companies, and today they command a huge market share in the market in the electronic space. So that is the significance, that is the relevance of business environment. So the more we understand this, from a company standpoint view, from an industry standpoint view, the more interesting it would get. And obviously from an economics paper standpoint, it is even simpler because your objective question, if you understand the concept, pick up the right question and you get marks. Now, some of these elements that we will discuss as we move forward in the economics classes will not only be relevant from an examination point of view, but they would also be relevant from an interview, from a job perspective. Now, professionals who work with companies, they need to, in their relative scope, understand some of the elements from the external environment. Let's say you're working with a big four. Now, big four needs to understand what their competitors are doing. Now, if a Deloitte is coming up with a new technology, can EY be left behind? The answer is no, because if that is the case, EY will lose clients to Deloitte. Right. So that's the reason why some of these characteristics of a business environment become very, very, very significant. So it's complex, it's dynamic, it's multifaceted, and obviously it can have a far reaching impact. Now, impact could be positive if we cope up with it, if we understand with it. Impact could also be negative if we don't understand some of these variables. Are we all clear? Has everybody understood it? I think I've got some comments on chat. Yes, Nitish is very right. Same happened with BlackBerry and Nokia as well. Yahoo is a perfect example of how things are changing, things were evolving. Now, if you've understood the characteristics of business environment, let's move forward. Now, let's quickly look at the components of a business environment. Now, if you look at the slide, you might feel that, oh, this is so complex, I can't understand it. But let's break it down into different elements. The first thing you need to keep in mind is from a company point of view. So if I am the company, I need to first understand that business environment is comprising of two key components. There is an internal environment and there is an external environment. Now, internal environment is anything and everything related to me as a company. So if I am a company and the name of the company is Akhil, then everything related to Akhil in terms of my strengths, my weaknesses, my mission statement, my value statement, my organization structure, my leadership team, my hierarchy, my manufacturing processes, my intellectual property, my technological capabilities, my hardware, my software, my office premises, my fixed assets, all of those elements comprise of internal environment. So internal environment has everything to do with me, nothing to do with my competitors or the external environment. So it will be my value system, it will be my goals, my strategies, my targets, my achievements, my strengths, my weaknesses. So that's primarily the internal environment bit of business environment. So are we all clear in terms of internal environment? What are we talking about in terms of internal environment? And as we move forward, we will talk about some of these elements in more detail, in terms of what are the different organizational structures, what is mission, what is vision, what is objective. So we will deep dive into some of those elements as well. But for now, everything related to me as a company, I as a company, comes under the umbrella of internal environment. Are we all clear on this? Okay, wonderful. Now let's talk about external environment. Now external environment is divided into two parts. There is a micro environment and there is a macro environment. Now, micro environment, if I can explain that to in a simple language, will be the industry in which I am operating. So if I'm the auto manufacturer, if I'm Maruti, if I'm Honda, if I'm let's say a Fiat, or if I'm let's say a Volkswagen, it will be the auto industry which will be the micro environment. So every variable in the auto industry for me as a company becomes my external micro environment. Now, why do I say external micro environment? Because I talk about my suppliers, I talk about my competitors, I talk about my customers, I talk about my market share, I talk about my intermediaries, everything and anything relating to the auto sector. So that's the external but micro environment, the smaller environment in which I'm operating, which is the auto sector. So if it is the FMCG industry, the external micro environment will be FMCG industry. If it is the electronic industry, it will be the external micro environment of the FMCG industry. If it is the banking industry, then it will be the external micro environment of the banking industry. Now, what we also need to understand is when we talk about the external environment, there are also certain macro variables. There are also certain macro environmental dynamics characteristics, right? For example, now India is a country which is growing. The GDP of the country is growing, and every company wants to come and do business in India. Why? Because the population of India is huge. We have a lot of supply factors. We have a lot of raw material. We have a lot of skills. We have a lot of money. We have a lot of capabilities. Now all of these elements which are external in nature but more at a country level rather than at a just industry level are classified as macro environment. So I'm sure if you were in your 11th and 12th, or if you've done your graduation, or in your graduation, economics has two subjects, macroeconomics and microeconomics, right? So microeconomics is what we're looking at, the external micro environment, me, my industry, and everything in that industry. Macro environment is everything broadly at a country level. So if India as a country is doing good, so let's say understand this with the help of an example. Now let's say India has a political stability. So there is one government which is operating for let's say 10, 15, 20 years. Now, why is this good for India? This is good for India because every company knows the mindset of this government. They know that, okay, they will be progressive in nature. They'll come up with new initiatives. They're more innovation friendly. They're more technology friendly. So they start understanding the government. They start understanding the policies, and obviously they start complying with it, operating under that umbrella. Similarly, the government will also start understanding the needs of the industry. So if let's say the government wants to roll out electric vehicles by 2030, just by saying will not help. The government will have to work parallelly, hand in glove with the industry. Now, the first thing is they come up with the policy. The second element will be they have to come up out with incentives to promote some of these elements. Now, let's say automobile companies will say that, okay, we will manufacture electric vehicles. They'll be costly. People will not be able to afford it because they will be expensive. Now, what does the government do? They come up with subsidies upfront either to the companies so that they reduce their cost of manufacturing a car, or they might start providing subsidies to the customers so that they can start affording all of these elements, right? So that is where the political macro environment variables come in picture. Now let's say India is a country which has a politically stable government, and because of their policies the per capita income of the population of our country is increasing. So there is a, so let's say when we talk of middle class, there is a lower middle class, there is a middle class, and there obviously there is an upper middle class. And whenever we speak about India, we say that the middle class is growing. Now, what is happening in this middle class? The middle class element is the people from the lower middle class strata are moving up to the middle class because their income is increasing. Now, within the middle classes, obviously their income is increasing. They're getting more opportunities to kind of afford some of these elements, change their lifestyle, kind of grow bigger. Now, because of these elements, now these are what? These are your socio-cultural elements. These are your demographic elements. Now, India is a country which is very rich in demographics. We are a very young country, not in terms of the existence of the country as such, but in terms of the average age of our people in the country. Now, some of these elements in terms of political stability, in terms of the per capita income, in terms of the age of people, in terms of access to information that people have through technology, through internet, obviously makes the country even bigger for companies to come and do business here. Now it may be good for companies to understand their micro environment, which is all their competitors, suppliers, customers, etc. But unless and until they understand the larger picture, the bigger picture at a country level, they will not be able to do business in the right manner. Now, if I have to come up with, let's say, electric cars, we'll continue with our example of electric cars. Now, just because the government has given me an order, I can't be producing 20 models of electric cars, right? Now, how many cars do I produce? Do I produce? Do I import? Do I manufacture? Do I export? What should I be doing? All of those elements are dependent upon what is referred to as the macro environment. So if the country in which I'm operating, the government is offering me incentives to boost exports, I will always kind of focus on, okay, I'll meet the demand for the domestic country, the home country, for the consumers there, and whatever extra I produce, I will export, because I will not only be able to earn revenue, but I will also get certain extra incentives from the government of that particular country. So whenever a company has to operate in the business environment, they need to look at the internal environment, which is my environment, which is what we spoke about, the internal environment right here on the slide in front of you. Then they look at the micro external environment, understanding each of their competitors, their action, their pricing strategy, their marketing strategy, their product portfolio, everything from a micro point of view. And then they also need to understand the macro picture, which is the bigger picture at a country level. What is happening at a country level? Now, let's say India is going through a recession. Now, at this point in time, no company would want to enter into India because they'll not be able to do business. There is no demand. There is no income that people have to kind of afford some of these products. So, at a recessionary point of time, companies may not want to come and do business in India. But the moment the country comes out of recession and they start booming, more and more companies would want to come and do business in India. Now, let me give you another example. 10 years back, India was purely a consumption economy. So most of the companies that were coming and doing business here were to service the needs of the customer by offering them products. So they will come with products, we will buy products, we will satisfy our need. Companies in the process will make revenue and profits. Now, since the last 5 years, there has been a strong impetus on promoting India as a manufacturing country. Now, that's a big mindset shift in the macro environment. Now, more and more companies are setting up manufacturing plants in India, manufacturing products, which obviously gives revenue to the government, which also provides employment, and obviously consumers get the goods, companies get revenue. But when they start manufacturing not only to cater to the demand of Indian customers, but they also start manufacturing to export more, because they know that the cost of manufacturing of a particular product in India will be relatively less as compared to any other country. And obviously, they will be able to export more and earn more margins. Now, this is an element that is purely related to your macro environment. How the government sees a particular country, what are some of their policies, which are obviously for the current moment as well as on a forward looking basis. So, whenever we speak about business environment, we will as a company have to look at each of these three elements: internal environment specific to me as a company, external micro environment, which is my industry, the industry in which I am operating. It could be FMCG, retail, it could be auto, it could be banking, it could be insurance. And then I look at the external macro environment, which is a bigger environment at a country level. And what are some of the variables they look at there? Economic, political, technological, social, as well as demographic. Now, we don't have to remember all of these elements. As we continue discussing some of these elements, apply logic and common sense, we'll be able to categorize, okay, what is internal, what is external micro, and what is external macro environment. Is everyone clear at a high level in terms of what is the business environment? What are the different components of it? And like I said, you don't have to ratify anything. You don't have to go for rote learning. All you need to do is understand what variable am I talking about? Is it related to me? Is it related to my close environment? Or is it related to the larger, bigger environment? If we understand that, we'll be able to classify these factors into either of these three categories. Are we clear on this? Everyone, any questions? And we'll keep revisiting this, because the more we discuss some of these variables, the better will be our understanding. as we move forward. Right? Okay. Now we've understood what is a business environment. We've looked at the definition. We've looked at what are some of the characteristics of a business environment. Obviously, it's complex, it's dynamic, it is multifaceted, and obviously it has far-reaching impacts because of the way in which you're operating. And then we're looking at what are the components of business environment: internal, external. External is further divided into micro and macro. So those are the three concepts that we've understood in our larger concept of business environment. So if everybody is clear on this, what we'll do is we'll go for a quick Q&A. I'll present a slide which has three questions. Let's attempt these three questions, and then I'll have Nitish share the answers with us for each of these questions. So let me just share the first question to you. So what we'll do is I'll read out the three questions one by one. You listen to the question, you recollect what we've just discussed. I'm sure you've made some notes as well. So refer to your notes, refer to the discussion, and try and answer in your own notebooks or notepads. Now, once we've discussed all, once I've read through all three questions and you've answered, then we will share with you what are the right answers. And obviously you can do a self-evaluation for it. Clear? Okay, let's start with question number one. Customers are part of internal business environment. Is this statement true or false? Now, for you to answer this question, remember in your mind, internal environment, external environment. Within external, focus on the micro and the macro. Visualize it, refer your notes, and then try and answer this. Customers are part of internal environment of business. Is this statement true or false? Okay, if you answered this question, let's go to question number two. Race, age, income, educational background, asset ownership form part of which environment? So again, no, business environment is the overall environment. The question here is focusing on whether it is internal, whether it is external. If it is external, is it micro or is it macro? So race, age, income, educational background, asset ownership form part of which environment? That's question number two for you. And finally, we go to question number three. Which environment factors regulate the values and beliefs, traditions and customs of society? Which environment factors regulate the values and beliefs, traditions and customs of society? So think before you answer. No extra marks for answering in a rush. We need to get the answers right. So customers are part of internal business environment, true or false? Race, age, income, educational background form part of which environment, and which environment factor regulate values, beliefs, traditions, and customs of society? So I'm assuming all of you have answered the three questions in your respective notebooks and notepads. And now I'll request Nitish to unmute himself and tell us what are the answers for question number 1, 2, and 3. So Nitish, over to you.
Thank you, Akhil. So the answer to first question is false. Customers are part of external environment of business, and particularly the micro environment. Now coming on to second question, race, age, income, educational background, asset ownership form part of which environment? So it is definitely a part of external environment. Now coming on to further, in external part of macro, and in the macro, it is a demographic environment. Similarly, on question number 3, so value, beliefs, traditions, and customs form part of society. So it is again part of external environment, and that too macro environment. And under macro, it is social culture. So while we talk about, when we say race, age, income, educational qualification, it is about demographic position of any country. Whereas beliefs, custom, tradition, these are socio-cultural aspects which we look after when we are talking about business environment.
Wonderful. Thank you, Nitish. Thank you for sharing those answers. I'm sure everyone would have got it right. So yes, when we talk about race, age, income, that's the demographic. So that's people related in terms of what is the race, that what is the age of people, what is the income level of those people. So that's the demographic bit of it. And obviously when we talk of values and beliefs, so moment you hear things like values, beliefs, traditions and customs, obviously that's part of the society. So that will be part of your socio cultural elements. Now both these elements, the people aspect, the socio cultural element, are important for the business, but let's answer this question in a negative format. Are they related to me as a company? No. Are they related to the industry in which I'm operating? No. So Nitish is not talking about the race, age, income of people who can buy cars. No, he's not talking about race, age, and income of people who can buy cars. He's talking about this concept in general. So wherever the concept is general outside of my industry, it will be a macro concept. So that's the hint that all of you need to carry back with you. Similarly, when we talk of values and beliefs, tradition and customers, is it related to me as a company? Yes, I could also have values and beliefs, traditions and customs as a company, but the question here is of society. So the moment you have society, that is a good enough hint that it is external and it is macro. Now sometimes in the examination you have to start interpreting, inferring some of these hints. Are we talking, is the question referring to the company? If yes, then I focus on internal environment or I focus on the micro environment. If the question is focusing on the country as a whole, or let's say society in large, or let's say the population overall, then I'm basically trying to focus on the macro environment variables at an external environment level. So some of these hints will always be there in the question. So once we understand the concept, then when we start practicing more and obviously focusing on some of these nitty gritties, that's when passing the exam becomes very, very easy. So nothing has to be mugged up. So if I were you, appearing for, let's say, my foundation exam, appearing for an economics question, the moment I see the word society out of the three categories that I have. So let's go back to the categories that you have. Internal. Is society internal? No. Is society external? Yes. But is it micro? Is it related to only my industry? No. That is when I get to know that yes, it is a macro environment variable. Now, the question easy is obviously it is macro. Now, where does society come in? Society obviously will be part of your socio-cultural, because we're talking about traditions, we're talking about customs, and we're talking about the values and beliefs. So some questions will be relatively straightforward. You will know the answer the moment you read the question. Some questions you'll have to filter out whatever does not apply. So like I said, society not internal, society not micro. So the only option available is macro. And sometimes obviously after filtering out the negative, there could be certain options which may look similar. Like for example, when you talk about race, age, income, educational background, you might think that okay, it could be related to my customers also, right? But the question here is asset ownership form part of which environment we are talking about. So that is what will give you a hint that this is again focusing macro, not just limited to my particular industry. Are we all clear in terms of what are some of the hints that you can draw from the question? Sometimes the answer will be in the question itself. All we need to do is keep our eyes and ears open, read the question multiple times, and you will get the answer right. No rocket science. We're talking about CA Inter, we're talking about CA Foundation, we're not talking about CA Final. And economics from a CA Foundation perspective is relatively easy. Objective questions, MCQs. You know it, you don't have to take a guess. Conceptual clarity with a lot of practice and you will be there, right? Okay, so in the class today, what we've looked at is, we've understood the meaning of business environment. We've looked at the characteristics of business environment. Can anybody tell me what are the 4 characteristics of business environment? Now see, while asking you that question, I've given you a hint that there are 4 characteristics of business environment. What are some of those characteristics? Can anybody share, or does somebody want to take a stab at it? I'll start with one. It's complex. Okay. Let's see what do we have in terms of the comment in the chat box. Yes, they have a far reaching impact. They are dynamic. Yes, they are dynamic, and yes, they are multifaceted. So you don't have to remember it in a particular order. What is more important is you need to remember the 4 characteristics of business environment. Now in the class today, if you've been attentive, if you heard whatever I've said, you would already remember the 4 characteristics. You don't even have to go back and revise. And finally, we understood what are the components of business environment, including external and internal environment. So two components, internal, external. Internal, the hint is everything related to the company, me. External, two bifurcations, micro, macro. So look at my hand, micro is smaller, macro is bigger. So that's the first classification. Macro will be more at a country level. Micro will be more at an industrial level. Industry will be specific to the industry in which I as a company am operating. So it will be my customers, my suppliers, my competitors, government policies related to my industry. But when we talk about macro variables, it is at a country level. The social levels, the demographic levels, the political, the technological, all of those elements come at a macro or at a country level. So I hope everybody found this class useful. We've spoken about very three easy concepts of business environment. And again, business environment, understanding business environment is the backbone of understanding any business. This is your starting point. So if you get this right in terms of logic, in terms of common sense, obviously the remainder part of the economic journey will be relatively easy because everything will revolve around business environment. And obviously we'll make things slightly more complex. We'll introduce more concepts and frameworks to you as we proceed. But at a bare minimum level, business environment is what we all need to master the concept. Are we all clear? Okay, wonderful. If that is the case, this is what we had for the class today. So we'll meet you in the subsequent lectures. We'll speak about more such concepts. And me and Nitish look forward to interacting with you. So thank you for being a patient audience. Thank you for participating in the chat. And let's keep the momentum going. So still then, stay safe, stay happy, study smart, and all the very best. Take care, guys.